The story begins in a girls' boarding school where all the students gather early in the morning for prayers. While everyone follows the routine, Herlina feels extremely sleepy. Unable to stay awake, she quietly returns to her room and falls asleep. One of her classmates, Obi, notices this and finds it strange, but doesn't think much of it at the moment. Soon, the teacher finds out that Herlina skipped prayers, and she becomes furious. Instead of punishing just Herlina, the entire class is punished for her mistake. Their punishment is to clean the entire school. This makes Obi especially angry, as she feels it's unfair that everyone has to suffer because of one person. As the girls begin cleaning, many of them gather in the bathroom area, joking and trying to make the work easier. Herlina also joins them, trying to stay positive despite everything. But seeing her laugh and act normal only fuels Obi's anger. She lashes out at Herlina, accusing her of relaxing while others are working because of her mistake. Ranam, who is Herlina's roommate, steps in and defends her. She explains that Herlina is new to the school and still doesn't understand all the rules. But Obi refuses to listen. She angrily declares that since Herlina caused the problem, she should clean everything herself. To make things worse, she deliberately spreads more dirt around, making the task even harder. Obi then storms off, telling the others to leave Herlina alone to deal with the mess. Most of the girls follow her, leaving Herlina behind. Only Ranam stays. Even when Herlina tells her that she can leave if she wants, Ranam gently refuses and continues helping her. In that moment, their bond grows stronger. While they clean, Herlina opens up about her struggles. She explains that she has never lived like this before. Being the only child, she was always cared for and never had to follow strict rules. Now, adjusting to this new life feels overwhelming. Despite everything, they finish their work together. The next day arrives, and it is visiting day. Parents come to meet their children, and Herlina's mother is among them. Herlina immediately expresses her feelings, saying she doesn't want to stay in the boarding school. She feels unloved, uncared for, and uncomfortable, even complaining about something as small as the bedsheets smelling bad. Her mother smiles and reassures her. She promises to bring new bedsheets and encourages Herlina to give it more time. She asks her to stay for at least one semester and only decide after that. During this moment, Herlina notices Obi being scolded by her own parents. Realizing that Obi might be getting punished because of her mistake, Herlina starts to feel guilty. But instead of softening, Obi's anger only grows stronger. That night, Herlina is seen practicing her Quran recitation. Ranam notices and appreciates her effort. She invites Herlina to join her at the mosque, and Herlina agrees but says she will come after ironing her scarf. While Herlina is alone in the room, Obi and her friends suddenly enter. Without warning, Obi grabs Herlina by the hair and starts accusing her of complaining to the teacher. Herlina desperately tries to explain that she didn't say anything, but Obi refuses to believe her and slaps her hard. The situation quickly turns worse. Obi notices food sent from Herlina's home. She tastes it and then spits it onto Herlina's face in humiliation. When Herlina tries to escape, two girls outside catch her and throw her back into the room. In the struggle, her hand lands on a hot iron that had fallen to the floor, burning her badly. Herlina screams in pain, but Obi shows no mercy. She picks up the hot iron and threatens Herlina, bringing it close to her face. Terrified, Herlina gathers her strength, pushes Obi away, and runs out of the room. She tries to reach the mosque to tell Ranam everything, but before she can, Obi and her friends catch her again. They cover her mouth to stop her from screaming. Meanwhile, Ranam briefly feels like she heard Herlina's voice, but when she looks around and sees nothing, she assumes it was her imagination and walks away. The girls drag Herlina into the washroom. There, they force her burned hand into detergent water, making the pain even worse. They then pour cold water over her and continue beating her brutally. This time, Herlina manages to escape again, running desperately for her life. In panic, she runs out of the school gate and onto the road. A car is approaching, but she doesn't see it in time. In a tragic moment, the car hits her. The scene shifts to the next morning, where Herlina's father arrives at the hospital. Her condition is critical, and her life now hangs by a thread.
At the hospital, Herlina's parents are completely shattered.
Her mother cannot bear to see her only daughter lying in such a condition. Her father, however, notices something disturbing: clear marks of beating and burns all over Herlina's body. Furious, he storms into the school authorities and lashes out at the teachers and the principal. He yells that he sent his daughter to become better, not to be tortured like this. But his anger changes nothing. After some time, the line on Herlina's ECG monitor slowly flattens. The sound becomes a constant tone. In that moment, Herlina is gone. A week passes. Back at the boarding school, life seems to continue as usual. The girls are taking down clothes from the drying lines. But as Ranum pulls down a bedsheet, something impossible happens. Herlina is standing right behind her. The moment everyone sees her, they freeze in shock. This is not the same Herlina. Her face is pale, lifeless, like someone who no longer belongs to the living world. Fear spreads instantly, especially among the girls who had bullied her. Herlina lets out a chilling, unnatural laugh. But Ranum, instead of running away, steps forward and hugs her, unable to believe what she is seeing. At the same time, the teachers are having a secret meeting. They discuss whether Herlina's case should be investigated. But instead of seeking the truth, the coordinator decides to hide everything. She says that exposing the incident would damage the school's reputation. It is better to quietly warn the girls involved and move on. That night, Obi and another girl are assigned to patrol the school. As they begin checking the premises, Obi suggests they split up to finish faster. She heads toward the washrooms while her friend goes another way. Suddenly, Obi hears a strange sound from the corridor. Thinking it's her partner, she walks toward her and taps her shoulder. But when the girl turns around, Obi is horrified. Her friend's face is completely black, her eyes lifeless, like something unnatural has taken over her. Terrified, Obi runs to the staff room and starts banging on the teacher's doors. But before anyone can respond, the possessed girl appears behind her. She grabs Obi by the throat and lifts her up, speaking in a terrifying voice. She says that this is punishment for what they did. Then, her face begins to change, slowly transforming into Herlina's face, but far more horrifying. Hearing the noise, a teacher finally comes out and manages to pull Obi free. But the possessed girl throws the teacher aside with unnatural strength. Realizing something evil is controlling her, the teacher begins reciting prayers to stop the entity. He asks for water, recites over it, and throws it on the girl. For a moment, the entity weakens. When the teacher questions it, the voice replies chillingly, "I am a devil." After this incident, Obi is completely traumatized. She locks herself inside her room, too scared to face anyone. When Ranum and the others come to check on her, Obi sees Herlina's terrifying face again among them. Panicking, she throws a pillow and screams at them to leave. The others are confused, but Obi insists that what they are seeing is not real. She believes Herlina has come back to kill her. Meanwhile, Ranum goes to the mosque at night and begins reciting the Quran. Suddenly, Herlina appears in front of her. Ranum is happy at first, but something feels wrong. When Herlina starts reciting, it sounds unnatural, as if she has forgotten how to do it properly. Ranum tries to ignore it and continues her prayer, but soon Herlina's voice begins to change. It becomes deep, distorted, and completely inhuman. Realizing something is terribly wrong, Ranum quietly leaves the place. The next morning, Ranum opens her room door and sees Herlina moving strangely in prayer clothes. When she asks what she is doing, Herlina responds in a chilling voice, asking why she is being watched. Ranum has no answer and walks away, deeply disturbed. Later that day, Ranum and Obi are again assigned night duty. Obi tells Ranum that she needs to go to the mosque to complete her prayer and asks her to wait outside. As Ranum waits, she notices Herlina walking out of the school in a strange, unnatural manner. Suspicious, she begins following her. Inside the mosque, the lights suddenly go out. Obi feels fear creeping in, but she continues her prayer. Suddenly, as she recites, a terrifying voice echoes in her ears, repeating the same words along with her. The sound is so disturbing that it shakes her completely, but she refuses to stop praying. And then she realizes something even more horrifying. She has been praying in the wrong direction. Obi gathers all her courage and decides she will not give in to fear. She starts her prayer again, determined to complete it properly. But once again, that same terrifying voice echoes in her ears. Every time she begins, her body somehow turns in the wrong direction, as if something is controlling her. She tries again and again, restarting her prayer multiple times. The voices grow louder, more disturbing. Fear grips her, but this time she refuses to stop. She forces herself to continue, ignoring everything around her. Finally, after one last attempt, she completes her prayer in the correct direction. Relieved, she thanks God. But the moment she turns her head, her blood runs cold. Herlina is sitting right beside her. Not like before, but like something inhuman. Her face is pale, lifeless, and terrifying. Obi screams in horror. Hearing her scream, Ranam rushes to the mosque. But when she arrives, Obi is still sitting in her prayer position, completely still. Something feels wrong. Ranam slowly reaches out and touches her. And in that instant, she realizes the truth. Obi is dead. Her face has turned completely black, just like the possessed girl from before. Ranam is shattered by what she sees. The next day, Obi's funeral takes place. As everyone gathers to pray for her, a chilling detail appears. Herlina is there too, with a faint, devilish smile on her face. It's as if she is watching everything unfold, without a trace of emotion. After the funeral, Obi's family collects her belongings and leaves the school. Ranam stands silently, watching them go. Soon after, Herlina approaches her. When Ranam asks where she was the previous night, Herlina casually replies that she was in her room. Ranam nods, but deep inside, she doesn't believe it anymore. A dark suspicion begins to grow in her mind, that Herlina might be behind everything. With Obi gone, her friend Siddhi asks Ranam to move in with her. Ranam agrees, partly out of fear of staying near Herlina. But even in Siddhi's room, she cannot find peace. Sleep doesn't come easily. When she finally falls asleep, something strange happens. When she opens her eyes, she is no longer in Siddhi's room. She is back in Herlina's room. On the upper bunk, Herlina is sitting, shaking her legs in a disturbing rhythm. The sight alone is enough to terrify Ranam. In a chilling voice, Herlina asks why she isn't sleeping. Frozen in fear, Ranam turns away, trying to avoid looking at her. Then, slowly, Herlina climbs down from the bunk. She comes closer, calling out to Ranam. But when Ranam gathers the courage to look back, Herlina is suddenly gone, vanished without a trace. Confused and scared, Ranam steps out of the room to look for her. At the same time, back in Siddhi's room, Siddhi wakes up and realizes Ranam is missing. She wakes her other roommate, and the two go out to search for her. As they walk through the corridor, something strange happens. One of the girls suddenly realizes that Siddhi has disappeared. She turns back, and Siddhi is nowhere to be seen. A whisper echoes through the corridor, calling her by name. Dilla, worry about yourself. Terrified, Dilla turns around, and Herlina is standing right in front of her with that same horrifying face. She screams and covers her eyes in fear. Moments later, Ranam arrives and holds her, asking where Siddhi is. Now both of them begin searching for Siddhi. Meanwhile, Siddhi is running through the school, trying to escape from Herlina. In fear, she runs into the mosque and feels a moment of relief when she sees other girls there. She thinks she is finally safe. But something feels wrong. All the girls are praying, but far too quickly. Their movements are unnatural, almost mechanical. As soon as they finish, they all slowly turn their heads and stare directly at Siddhi with terrifying expressions. Fear takes over her completely. Suddenly, a piece of cloth flies through the air and lands on her face. Startled, she begins screaming. Hearing her cries, Ranam rushes into the mosque and removes the cloth from her face. At the same time, another girl runs to call a teacher for help. She bangs on the door, but it opens on its own. She steps inside and tries to wake the teacher, but he doesn't respond. Then she feels it. Someone standing behind her. Slowly, she turns around and sees Herlina in her ghostly form. Frozen in fear, she turns back toward the bed, but the teacher is no longer there. And before she can react, the door slams shut. Terrified, the girl turns back as Herlena's chilling voice echoes around her, whispering threats from every direction. She tries to back away, her body shaking, but before she can escape, Herlena suddenly appears behind her and grabs her throat. The attack is merciless. The girl struggles, screams, and then falls silent. Her screams wake the teachers. One of them rushes toward the room where the sound came from, but when she opens the door, no one is there. Yet the screams continue, echoing through the building. Following the sound, she reaches the mosque, where the other girls are gathered in panic. There, they discover the horrifying truth. The girl is dead, her face completely gray, just like Obi's. The same unnatural death has happened again. Ranam is devastated. As she looks around, she spots Herlena standing behind a pillar, laughing in a disturbing, inhuman way. In that moment, Ranam understands everything. Herlena is behind all of this. She rushes to inform the teachers. Now, even they realize that something evil has taken over the school. To protect the students, they gather all the girls inside the mosque. But one person is missing, Herlena herself. The senior teachers immediately begin searching for her. Meanwhile, Herlena's mother receives a call and becomes deeply worried. Back at the school, Siddhi asks Ranam to accompany her to the bathroom. Ranam agrees and waits outside while Siddhi goes in. But suddenly, Ranam notices something strange. Siddhi is walking in a different direction. Confused, Ranam follows her and places a hand on her shoulder. At that exact moment, the real Siddhi calls her from behind. When they turn back, they see something horrifying. Herlena, disguised as Siddhi, standing right in front of them. Both girls scream and try to run, but Herlena catches them, dragging them back. Hearing their cries, the teachers arrive and finally confront Herlena. They begin reciting prayers, trying to restrain her. As they do, they realize a terrifying truth. This is no longer Herlena's spirit. A demon has taken control of her body. They demand the entity to leave, but the situation worsens. Herlena's parents arrive at the school, and her mother desperately begs to take her daughter away. At this moment, the truth of the past is revealed. The accident that injured Herlena was caused by her own mother. When Herlena's mother was driving to the school with bedsheets, she accidentally hit something on the road. Thinking it was just a piece of wood, she moved on without realizing it was her own daughter. Later, Herlena's father noticed the damage on the car and understood what had really happened. But he chose to stay silent to protect his wife from the truth. Back in the present, the demon controlling Herlena drags her mother into the forest. Moments later, it throws her lifeless body back toward them. Her mother is dead. The teachers try to restrain Herlena again, but she is too powerful. She throws them aside effortlessly. Still, they gather their courage and continue the exorcism. Her father watches helplessly, breaking down as everything falls apart. Another shocking truth comes to light. Herlena had actually died that day in the accident. Unable to accept this, her father went to a dark magician, begging him to bring her back. The magician gave him a cursed iron nail and instructed him to hammer it into Herlena's head, warning him never to remove it until her revenge was complete. Driven by grief, her father followed those instructions. He brought her back, but not truly alive. He then lied to everyone, saying she was recovering, and sent her back to the boarding school. Everything that followed was the result of that decision. Back in the present, Herlena's father finally understands the truth. His daughter is gone. What remains is only a demon using her body. With a heavy heart, he removes the nail from her head. The moment the nail is pulled out, everything stops. The chaos ends instantly. Herlena is finally at peace. The story moves to her funeral. The school is shut down, and all the students are sent back home. Ranam visits Herlena's grave, mourning the friend she lost. In the final moments, we see Herlena's father alone at home, broken by the loss of both his wife and daughter. Just when it seems like it's over, there is a knock at the door. The magician stands outside. He reminds the father of his warning. The nail was not supposed to be removed until Herlena's revenge was complete. And with that chilling reminder, the story ends, leaving behind one final question. Is the nightmare truly over, or has it just begun?